poppin' and welcome back to a brand new video. Today is February 18th, I think. It's the kind of middle of February and I've been working a lot on this app, which means I haven't really had time or made time to record and document it. But I kind of like had my head down working quite late, and now I've made some major progress on the app, as you saw in the previous episode, or maybe next episode. I'm not sure where I'm gonna place this in the range of episodes, because I'm trying to make the launch video episode 70, just because, you know, nice round number. I'm not sure what that is. But what we have to do is market the app. There's one thing, building an app, that's quite difficult, but it's even more difficult, I've learned, to get people to actually download and pay for the app. Now we're gonna come up with some strategies in order to market this app. It will involve things such as social media. I'm gonna tell you a little bit later in this video about my marketing strategy, so if you're interested in how to market an app, then this is the video for you. We're also gonna be making some graphics, like we're gonna be making a demo video, an intro video, an ad, for example, that we can run, as well as some graphics that people can use if we have like influencers, etc. So without further ado, let's get to working. Okay, now I'm gonna be recording the voiceover for this ad that we're doing. Well, not really ad, but like an explaining video, kind of showing what you do. So that's why I look like a pilot right now, but let's see how it turns out. It's gonna be like a little demo of how you start using the app, etc. So let's see if it works out.
Hi, and welcome to Arbster.io, revolutionizing the way arborists plan and work. Upon opening the app, you will be greeted by an onboarding screen.
Okay, so I've done quite a few different things. First of all, I made some assets, like video assets and still assets. I've also made a little bit of a brand overview in Canva and on here. So we have this drive now where we have still assets. First of all, we can get access to all the logos, this is in case you want to give it to ambassadors, whatever, as well as some posters and cards. For example, this is something that we're gonna print and put in my dad's arborist store, but also something which we're gonna be giving out in orders, like a flyer, and here there's gonna be a QR code. Then we made some business cards, for example here. Quite a nice overview, I think. Just we can print this and put them on little business cards. This will be the back side with the QR code, and then this is like a banner for YouTube, LinkedIn, etc. So I've also created all those social media accounts. You can follow them down below if you're interested, so feel free to do that. Also some screenshots. For example, we have just regular phone screenshots in case of creators want to use this, or I need it in the future, someone else needs it in the future, both for iPad as well. Then we have some stylized screenshots. For example, here we have like nice overviews of the actual phone. This is actually will go uploaded to the App Store. For example, when you then swipe the app on App Store, you can see these screenshots here. So it's like an edited version essentially. Looks quite good, I think. Then we have it the same thing but for smaller screens, a little bit simpler, and then for iPad. Then we have some used photos, which is just rendered photos with this app in the background. I think they look pretty good in case we want to use it for marketing, whatever, in the future. Then we have some video assets too, voiceover, no voiceover. For example, we have an app walkthrough, etc. So if we look at voiceover, we can get this little quick overview. I guess now we can't really open it, so we're gonna have to switch over here, and then we're gonna take a look at this one.
Introducing Arbster, revolutionizing the way arborists plan and work. Complete comprehensive on-site risk assessments, manage your gear, and more. Download today where you get your apps.
So it's just a couple of videos like that. That was the 16-second one. We also have a 5-second one.
Revolutionizing the way.
Yeah, you get it. So that's quite nice. Also, we have some vertical and some horizontal ones. Also, I made this, which I think is pretty good, which is like a walkthrough.
Hi, top, and you can press add to calendar.
That just shows some of the feature of the app. So that is pretty much it for all the assets. That probably took me 4 hours to create all of those. So it was quite an investment in terms of time, but I think that will be very useful for us in the future. But now let me tell you a little bit about the strategy as a whole, and for that we're gonna turn around. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you a little bit about the marketing, like some of the stuff that we're gonna do, and for that I have my handy notebook, important shit, that's what it says. Here I've sketched down some things that we're gonna be doing for marketing, and our budget isn't massive, so most of this is gonna have to be quite cheap. As I said, my business partner, who also happens to be my dad, owns an arborist store that sells like gear to arborists, so he has access to this whole target market of ours, which is pretty neat. Those things that I showed you just now, that we're gonna be putting them in orders, we're gonna be printing some flyers, some business cards, they'll be in the store, have that poster. That's gonna be one form of marketing, just reaching out to that existing customer base. Then we're also gonna be doing social media, and on social media this is quite interesting because I used to work with this back in the day. Like in 2020 I started this company where I did social media marketing for a couple of other companies. Also I've been doing this like all my life. I'm not very good at it, but I have some experience in growing social media pages. Obviously this YouTube channel isn't growing super quick, but you know, it is what it is. Support it, subscribe, it's completely free. But I have this company called Nordic Social Media, where I helped companies develop some of this strategy. And one of the things I actually developed myself, this is the definition of fake it till you make it, but I think it actually worked pretty well, was called the DWCI model. What that stands for: D, deposits, W, withdrawals, C, content, I, interaction. The formula that it said that a great social media strategy is content plus interaction when deposits are greater than withdrawals. You view your social media as a bank account where you deposit value, so you create value for the people who are following you. And that's only the really way to grow, is by creating some kind of value. That can be entertainment, that can be information, that can be a little bit of both. But whatever you do, you have to create value to some degree. And what you do with this is that you provide more value than you do withdrawals. Just with a bank account, if you withdraw money from the bank account and more than you deposit money, you're gonna run out of money. Just as with social media, if you withdraw more, so withdrawals are things such as asking for, hey, subscribe to me, follow me, download this, purchase this, those are withdrawals. Stuff where you're asking for value to be generated for you as opposed to generating value for the people following you. You have to make sure that you're creating more value than you're actually asking for back. And that's one of the things we're going to be doing. So I haven't really nailed that down entirely, what the strategy is going to be, what we're going to be doing, but we're going to be focusing a lot on Instagram and TikTok and Reels. That's going to be the main way of promoting. I think we're going to go like a little bit of informational and entertainment route, but that's to be determined a little bit in the future. But that's going to be a main part of our social media strategy. And if you're considering doing social media too, that's something you should definitely consider. But moving on, we're gonna have a little bit of a presence on all platforms like LinkedIn, TikTok, Facebook, etc. But Instagram and TikTok are gonna be the main platforms, at least to begin with, because that's kind of what we have capacity for. So in combination with that offline marketing, we're gonna be doing that organic social media. We're just gonna be posting, interacting with people. That's gonna be the two main forms of marketing. We're also gonna have some more stuff. For example, we're gonna create a blog with some of the safety articles, etc., which is quite relevant to our target audience. Then after a little bit, we're gonna be experimenting with paid advertisements. So first of all, we're gonna do some ambassador campaign. There are quite a few famous arborists on social media, like on YouTube, on Instagram, for example. So we're gonna be reaching out to those, asking if they can create a sponsored post. In the future, maybe we'll experiment with like attribution in the app. So if someone can share a promotional link, we can attribute that sign up from that link to that particular ambassador and compensate them accordingly. But I think to begin with, we're just going to do fixed fees where we say, hey, if we pay you this, can you make a post? Yes, no, etc. That's going to be the main form of paid marketing. But we're also going to dabble a little bit with like paid search ads on Google, as well as App Store ads on Apple, where we actually pay for clicks and downloads for our particular app. Then we're gonna have some PR, which is gonna be quite exciting. This is actually not something I am responsible for, but it's still gonna be quite exciting, and that's gonna be part of this whole strategy. We're gonna reach out to some Swedish news organizations, because last week, I believe, we had this quite serious incident where someone fell from a tree because they were using faulty equipment or the wrong equipment, and that could have been maybe prevented with one of these risk assessments that we do have in the app. So that's gonna be a little bit of a good PR opportunity, as well as, you know, we're actually doing this to improve safety and like change lives to some degree, or prevent life-changing injuries or accidents to some degree. So there is like a little bit of goodwill and meaning behind that too, which is why I think it's quite interesting to do some PR pushes. But also there are quite a few arborist magazines and publications where we're gonna be able to reach out and ask them, hey, if you write about this or if you interview us about this, can you feature it in your blog or your newspaper or your magazine or whatever. So that's gonna be another form of marketing. But in terms of prioritization, then that's gonna be it. First of all, Instagram, TikTok main focus with that whole DWCI protocol, more value than we ask for withdrawals, and we're gonna have good content and good interaction. We're gonna try to post quite a lot, mainly video content, and that, since that seems to be what Instagram is pushing right now. That we're gonna be doing in addition to all the offline marketing, which will essentially be free. That's just gonna be the price of the flyers, which is super cheap. So that's also gonna be one acquisition channel. After that, we're gonna dabble a little bit in paid social, ambassadors, as well as App Store ads, which I think will be quite interesting. And then moving on a little bit further into the future, we'll be doing some PR activities. So that's kind of how I'm planning to do this marketing. Obviously, I'll have to do this in much greater detail in the future, but it's kind of like the general outline right now, and I think a pretty good place to be in before even having launched the app. That was the main overview of what we're going to be doing for marketing. If you have any ideas yourself, or if you have anything you want to contribute with, then feel free to leave a comment down below or reach out to me on DMs. My Instagram's linked down below. I appreciate to hear from you, and I appreciate all the advice I can get, because the last time I did this, it didn't go super well. I got a couple of downloads, but not that many. So I'm helpful for all advice, and if you just want to chat about it in general, feel free to hit me up. If you like this video, then leave a like down below, subscribe. It's completely free of charge. Wild, I know, right? And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.